Well, hey y'all, good morning. I was going to make some butter today, and I thought I might as well get my friends and see if y'all want to help me make some butter. We have done this several times, and I've just used the regular carton that you get from the grocery store of heavy whipping cream. But today we're going to use, and I purchased this. They don't even know I'm alive, y'all. But this is from Ozark Mountain Creamery from Mountain Grove, Missouri, and this is fresh cream. And I cannot tell you how wonderful this stuff. It is so delicious, and it is vat pasteurized. So I've got my stand mixer, and I've got my little uh, beater whiskey thing on it, and I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to make this whole thing. We're going to make this whole thing into butter. Now you can use the the little cardboard boxes that you buy at the store for a recipe. And say you bought the one that had 2 cups in it and you only needed a half cup for a recipe. Are you going to use the rest of that up before it goes bad? I don't know. Is it good in your coffee? Yes, it is. But this is just a good way to waste not, want not. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of salt to mine. You don't have to do this. I like the flavor of just a little bit of salt, and I'm going to add about, looks about like half a teaspoon. I'm just going to go ahead and put it in now. This is this Himalayan pink sea salt, and it's a little more coarse than your regular Morton's table salt, so it'll take a little bit more to dissolve it. So I'm going to turn this on very slowly. I'm going to lock it down. I'm going to turn this on very slowly and let it kind of get started. And the process of making butter, you're going to go from the cream, and then it is going to go into the whipped cream that you would put on a delicious strawberry pie. Doesn't that sound good? And then you let it go, and it will split. Just lickety split, it will split. So anyway, that's the process of making butter. And I'm going to turn this on low, and then we'll get back together. Let's see, how noisy is this? That's not too bad, is it? Just going to let this sit here and do this for a little bit. Now, I have several different little butter molds, and I have one in the freezer that we'll talk about when this is done. But I picked this little jewel up at a flea market, and I just love this thing. And it sits on top of my Hoosier cabinet just for looks, because it does not work. It's just for pretty. But I cannot imagine how many things of butter this made. It has been well loved, and it's kind of like something wrong with the sprocket, kind of like me, I guess. So anyway, I love that thing. It just makes me happy. So I'm going to let this go, and I am going to, whenever I crank it up higher, I'm going to cover it with a clean tea towel so it doesn't make a mess that I have to clean up. This takes about 20 to 25 minutes, and through the magic of television, we'll get back together whenever this splits, and I'll show you what it looks like. But I'm going to go, what I like to do when I make butter, I let it go for just a little bit like this, and then I'll turn it up just a notch. And if it starts spitting and sputtering and blowing all over the place, I'll lower it back down until it gets thicker, and then I'll crank it back up. But right now, we're on, let me see what we're on. We're on a 4, and it's not splashing out. So I'll see y'all back when this splits, and I'll get that really pretty butter mold out of the freezer, and we'll get it formed. So see y'all back in a little bit. Okay, this has been going about 15 minutes, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. Does that not look good enough to eat with a spoon? It's not quite there yet, but I am going to take this opportunity to clean off the sides. Push that down in there. And we're going to turn it back on. And we're going to cover it back up. It doesn't like much splitting. I feel like an old-timey photographer looking under the thing to take a picture. I wish y'all were here, and I also wish I had another camera that I could show y'all exactly what's going on. I have wiped it down several times, and right now there's a lot of the butter that has clung up on the sides of it, and it's starting to slide down. And it's gone from whipped cream, it got taller whenever it was whipped cream, and it's gotten shorter now because it's about to be butter. And you can hear it kind of sloshing too. But you do not want to take this foul off. I promise you, you'll have a milk pastry. Just like that. Okay, y'all, it is finished. So we're going to take off our dish rag. And let's see, let's get this up here. Get a knife to get this butter out. And I'm going to strain this through my little colander. If I had a finer mesh one, that would be super duper great. And then we're going to give it a rinse. Go. Now let's get this over here. Scoot this out of our way. And then I'm going to strain this through this fine mesh colander. Well, it's not fine, but you see how the, woo, get back up there, Nellie. See how the liquid is just separate from the butter? It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, let's get the rest of this out of here. All right, let me get this up. Let's see, we're gonna need that one. All right, so let me show you what we're gonna do now. Look at this whey. Now do not throw, I'm gonna put this back in there. Don't throw this whey away. That rhymed. Because put this in a jar and put it back in the ice box, and you can use this to make, let me set this over here. You can use that when you're making cakes and biscuits and anything you're gonna use milk. You can use that instead of using milk. Get it all over the place. Okay. You do want to wash your butter. If you're making a lot, you want to wash it. If you're just, you know, if you had a half a cup left over, and you know, you can make butter in a jar. If you had a half a cup of one of those little whipping cream things, you can put it in a jar, and while you're watching the nightly news, just sit here and do this and this, pass it around the room, and after a while, you'll have butter, and it's cool, and you didn't waste anything. But the way I'm going to wash this, I'm going to put it back on my stand, lock her down. I'm going to take about a half a tray, I don't need this, half a tray of ice and put in here. Can y'all see what I'm doing here? I'm going to take about half a tray of ice and put in there. I try not to get it all over the place. That's good enough right there. Now what you want, why you wash your butter is if you don't wash it, it won't last as long. You want to get all of that off of the surface. I've got it on my surface too. But anyway, put some butter in there and ice. It doesn't matter how much ice you use. But I'm just going to turn this on and let it rattle and bang for just a little bit. I've done this several times with the ice, and it has not done this. It's like taking your child to the doctor and they don't act sick anymore. Anyway, all right, there we go. So let's just get this out here. Get this. I'll put this in my bowl. Tell you what, let me get my strainer back on. Yeah, y'all, this is real life. There's no TV crew over here at all. Hang on a minute. Let me get another bowl. Mercy me. All right, let's strain this out here and get this ice out of here. Get a cooking show, they say. It'll be easy, they say. And it's a lot of fun. It's just that whenever you can do things 100 million times in your kitchen, and when you push film, it all goes awry. That's okay. Not a problem. Okay. So let's get this bowl over here. Pick some of this ice out. There we go. Let's get the rest of it out. The very first time I made butter, y'all, was out of necessity. It was when the couldn't buy any in the store because the world was shut down, but they had plenty of whipping cream. And I've done a butter video a couple different times, And everybody says, but you're not saving any money. Y'all, it's not all the time about saving money. Sometimes it's just about doing stuff and keeping the old ways alive and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'm not gonna get on that bandwagon. Okay, now I have a glass butter mold. And it's been in the freezer. You want to keep it cold. If you're using a wood one, you'll want to soak it in some ice water. And I'm just going to take my butter and put it in here. Oh, there's a piece of ice. Let me get that out of here. Okay. Let me get a spoon. All right, now we're cooking with butter. One of these butter molds that I have, my granddaddy made, and the other one was my grandma's, but it was a store-bought version of it. And they're just really special to me. And of course, I don't remember my mama ever making butter at all, but I'm sure she did when she was a little girl or a new wife, because they had no milk cow out there, you know. Okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna smash this down, and if I had some saran wrap, that would be great. Let me get some saran wrap. You stay right there. Don't move. Don't move. Hang on a minute, y'all. Saran wrap is a great thing to use if you're, you know, doing something you need to mash it down, but you don't want to get your hands all yucky-fied. That'll work. Okay, now we're going to mash her down real good and firm. And I know other times I've done butter, a lot of y'all have talked about how you enjoyed sitting out with your grandparents and making butter and what good memories they were. And I wish I'd had that memory. Both my grandmas were quite up there by the time I came along, and so they weren't doing any of this kind of stuff anymore. Okay, let's take this off. And now, drum roll, let's see if we can get this out of here. It's probably not going to be pretty, but it's going to be delicious. Not pretty, but it's going to be delicious. And there we go. We have homemade butter. And you want to label this that it is salted. So whenever you get ready to bake with it or whatever you're doing and you have regular butter in there, see if it's any good. Oh, my doctor just had a cow. Oh boy. Y'all, that is so good. This would be delicious on some homemade biscuits, gluten-free biscuits that are in my cookbook, and I'll put how to order that. But anyway, there you go. Waste not, want not. Learn new things. Make a mess. Don't care. It's going to be fine. Just another day in paradise, huh? There we go. Homemade butter from whipped cream. And remember, you can do this with the store-bought, the 1 cup or the 2 cups. You don't have to measure it. You just want everything to be cold and clean. And there you go. I'll see you next time. And y'all go do something fun and learn something new. Hey, y'all. I forgot to tell y'all something. This is very important. When you're washing up all of your stuff here, you want to scrape all the butter out that you can, because see, there's still some stuff in here. And don't wash it just like that. You want to take a paper towel or something disposable and wipe it all out before you wash it, because especially if you use a sink, well, I guess a dishwasher too. I don't have a dishwasher. But first time I made butter, y'all, let me set this aside. I'm going to tell y'all this quick story. First time I made butter, I rinsed it. My mama, who she was still here, she'd be 99, and I was telling her I was going to make butter, and she said, be sure and rinse that stuff so it don't go rancid. Okay, so I didn't look it up. I didn't Google it. I just rinsed it in the sink, in the cold running water. You do want to use cold, don't use hot, or you'll melt your butter. I stopped my sink up. So now every time I make butter, I go to great lengths to not do that. And so anything that I'll wipe it all down with a paper towels before and get as much grease off of it. And that works great for like skillets and spatulas, anything that you've used that's got grease on it. just to take some paper towels and wipe all that grease off and preserve your drain. Your husband will not use your name in vain. I did not mean to rhyme. But anyway, that's just what I want to come back on here and tell y'all to don't stop your sink up. Use paper towels. And this is going to be great in some biscuits and all that stuff. So I'll see you next time. I got a mess to clean up here.